Good morning and welcome to What's for Breakfast, Lunch, or Brunch. And here we have it right out the toaster. Now, what I have gotten here is we had some, oh my goodness, oh, that was just a brain slip right there. What did we have? We had a box of stuffing that we bought last year at the end of the closeout. I can't remember if it was Thanksgiving or if it was Christmas, but it was clearance to 99¢, which I'll show you the box because I kept it. It was this particular stuffing right here. And as you can see, I even wrote at the time what we paid for it, 99¢. And what it was is, I was like, well, what am I going to do with this? Because it's been sitting up there this November, December, January. I'm not even sure when we got it, but since last season. And I read on the back, and of course, it called for 1.5 cups of water and a quarter cup, which is a half a stick of butter. And so me and my husband was like, okay, what do we have here? And in the freezer, because you know I'm a big save your bones from either steak, or if you're having like a T-bone, like save the steak bone from the T-bone, and or if you have a rotisserie chicken, save the bones from the rotisserie chicken, and we put them in a crock pot and make our own, stock or bone broth. So we had about, we just took it out the freezer. We didn't even measure it out. We kind of guessed it was probably about a little over a cup left of that. Maybe a cup and a quarter. And we just put it in a little saucepan. And which I want to show you the cute little saucepan because my husband bought this for me because it's super lightweight, and it was on clearance for $5. I think originally it was $15, but we were able to get it on clearance for $5. And it's so, it's a good pen, but it's so lightweight that I can lift it to where it's not too heavy for me to, pick up if I had to. And it's really small, so that way it's great for like heating up soups or, a little bit of water for a hot tea without trying to pick up a heavy kettle. So this is what we did the chicken, not the chicken, but the stovetop stuffing in, was that little pan. So I put the broth in there, let it melt down, and a quarter cup of butter, which we're like, that is way too much butter for, what we're making. And plus the butter to us is what's going to give it the flavor. And instead of us having to rely on the butter, we use the bone broth, or the bone broth in there. So we only put maybe 2 tablespoons of butter in there. And then we also, my husband was going through the freezer up here because we rotate. He'll bring stuff up from the basement and put it up into our main freezer. We have the French style one where it's at the bottom. So he'll open it up, go through, and kind of rotate stuff out. And we found a container of chicken. And what was we had a rotisserie chicken, and we didn't eat it all, so we peeled a little bit left the pieces off and threw it in the container. So what do? We chopped that up, add it to the stuffing, and then we also was like, oh, there is some celery. We had some celery left over, so we took that diced celery that was in the freezer, and we added some of that to the stuffing, right? And it turned out really well. Now, growing up, my mom and I will always take our stuffing after it was cooked on a cooktop, and we will put it in little muffin tins and make it individually sized and put it in the oven and let it actually form into a muffin. So that's what I did, and I'll show you that what was left over. My husband took one for his lunch because he's having the last little bit of rotisserie chicken with barbecue sauce, a muffin, which I'm calling it a muffin, but it's a stuffing muffin, and he's having a side of peaches, today for lunch. So yeah, we're using it up. So let me show you what the muffins look like. All right. Those are my peaches. But this is, and I love these little containers. So easy to open. I need everything to be an easy open. So this is just a little, you know, inexpensive container that we've kept throughout the years. And there's a little Stuffin Muffins. And then when we want one, you just individually pick it up. You can heat it whole, or like I cut mine before, heat it because it'll make it easier to spread my next item on top, which is let's see here, what we're gonna do with that. Let's grab butter knife here. Now let me slide this over. Don't judge me, but I love, and I grew up on it. I love it. It's one of my favorites. My husband not so much, but the cranberry in the can, the gelled cranberry, that went on clearance too, which I absolutely love. It's my favorite. And I'm just gonna take and put some on top of that warm Stuffin Muffin. Oops, I don't want my chips to get wet. Just like that. And then a little bit more. It's my favorite. I love that it's tangy, it's sweet, it's got a little bit of sour, bitter notes to it. And I eat this year round. It's one, and like I said, it's one of my favorites. And so that way, it's got a little chicken in there. It's almost like a little chicken meal here. Right, good way to use up the leftovers. So there's that. And it's funny because when we slide it over, now I gotta be careful, like, because that is very cold, and anything that cold really hurts my hands. So let me do it like this with this. And you see all that juice down in there? We will not get rid of that. What I would do is when we make oatmeal this coming weekend, because we like to try to have oatmeal at least every other weekend, or, you know, at least a couple times a month. Because it's good. It's a good fiber source for us. So I will pour that juice after I make it with the nut milk, whatever one, whether it's almond, coconut, cashew, whatever nut milk that we use to make our quick oats with. And then we'll add the oats. I will add a little tablespoon of butter, whole butter, not margarine. And then once we're ready to eat it, I will drizzle some of that cranberry juice that's leached out from the cranberry sauce on top with either, like, say, pecans, toasted pecans. Delicious. One of me and my husband's favorite. Now, he will eat it like that. Let me just scoot that over. I'll get someone to put that lid on there and put that up, because that is cold, cold, cold. And hands are like, no, no, no. We're not doing that today. And then here, so another comb. These are easy. I like these. Just one little flip of the finger. These are my peaches that I will have as a snack. If this is a lot and I get full on it, then I will have this for later. But I just cut up peaches that we have bought and sprinkled a little sugar on top. And then you put it in the refrigerator, let the sugar melt down, and it makes its own syrup. Delicious. So that will be a snack. Oops, can't click that, so I get somebody to put that. And then one last thing I'm going to show you before I jump off here. Oh, no, too. Oh, I almost forgot about you, buddy. Almost forgot about you. I'm almost bonded with this tomato, and I just hate to see it go. To be honest, this is part of the never-ending growing tomato that just kept regenerating in the refrigerator. Like, you cut off of it, you think you're going to be done the next day, and you open it up and there's just more tomato. Well, this is it. This is the last bit. So I'm going to put that right on top of my spinach and artichoke dip. Just like that. Oh goodness. You've done well, little tomato. You just kept just providing and providing, and we do appreciate it. So there's the end of the tomato. And then one more little tip I was telling you all about, which one might be in the next video. Because like I said, it's in the freezer and it's cold, and my hands don't like cold things. Cause yeah. So we went ahead and part of those big bag of limes and lemons that we had purchased from the big box store. We go ahead and cut them up, and we have some in the, because that's part of prep, right? If you already have it prepared, you're most likely to use it. And if you're most likely, it's so funny, I would heat my plate, so that's why I'm making sure that the plate wasn't cold. And I might take that because it's nice and warm. And I'm just going to put it back in the toaster because it's still warm, but it's not on. So that way, actually I will turn it on because I don't like cold plates or cold food that's supposed to be hot. So that way it'll stay warm. Anyway, we went ahead and cut up the limes and the lemons. And we have some in the bowl that's prepped. And I just want to show you because I saved it on the counter so that way. And what we do is we'll take and put it in. This bowl has water and white vinegar, distilled white vinegar, and let it soak. And I don't know if you can see all the particles floating around, and it even got a little skim on top. I'm guessing that's from, if they put the seals on the, how they seal the fruit to keep it to last longer on there, and then that helps get it off. And then we'll wash it and rinse it, and then I use it in a bowl, and then we'll just keep turning it over so it's not wasteful. And then we'll use that to clean out the sink. Just pour that vinegar water and scrub down the sink, and there you got it. But here's the lemons and limes, and here's my drink, which is in a mason jar, of course. One of my favorites is green tea with some elderflower syrup. And we're gonna take a lemon. No, you know what? Yeah, yeah, lemon. All right. Just squeeze a little bit of that. I like a lot of lemons. I'm gonna take another one. All right. And I've already used my handy whisk to whisk in the syrup, but I will also just take these things right here are awesome. I use it for everything, whether it's to just, no stirring required, no whisking. It does it all for me. Just whisk it up. Now it's actually a frother that you will use for like, frothing milk. But we use it to mix in any kind of mix-ins. I would not recommend using it for protein powder because it's too thick. But like we add espresso to our coffee, like espresso powder to our coffee. We use that to whisk it in. We also add like different syrups or, mixes to our coffee. We use that to mix it in. So any kind of specialty drinks we're making for ourselves at home, like the green tea with infused syrups and limes or lemons, we mix that in. We give it a little taste to see. That is where it's at. That is good. And mix that in. So yeah, you don't need a frother, a milk frother, just to froth milk. You can use it for mixing items that are not chunky. What I should say, like I wouldn't use it for cake batter because it's too not powerful enough, and the batter is too thick. But like if you're doing any kind of mix-ins in your drinks, I probably wouldn't do it for a milkshake either. Too thick. But if you're doing any kind of liquid base, like say if you got, say if you have, I wouldn't even say kids, say if you enjoy chocolate milk, right? Say if you drink chocolate milk with the chocolate syrup, I will use that to mix in the chocolate syrup into the milk. If you like hot chocolate, which in the fall when we start drinking hot chocolate, we will use that to mix the hot chocolate into the milk. So thanks for watching, and I hope that you get you something good to eat, and see you in the next video. Oh, I almost forgot, on my community page I did take some pictures of it's funny because we have planted some peppers, like some bell pepper seeds and some jalapeno seeds in a little starter container side by side. And maybe something more to look at than just, how about that? Than just my glass of tea and a thing of water. And we didn't know which one came up because they were side by side. Well, lo and behold, we're going to have some jalapenos because they're starting to come in and they're long. You know, they're starting to grow long, so I know they're not bell peppers or sweet peppers. That's what we planted. And I took pictures of our tomato plants, which are super tall, and we have some squash getting ready to come up. So I'm going to try to put those on the community tab so y'all can see those. Thanks for watching.